Speaking of strange people, would you like to recount Mr. JB?
Oh, tell us about
I
some
can give
JB,
you
Mason.
He's dead now, but
That's unfortunate.
He's dead now.
He's dead now.
God, JB, where do I start with that, man? Basically, so he lives. You're gonna have to censor the place names.
Yeah.
But JB, little backstory about the man, lives in a ranch. Where do you live, by the way? Shit, that makes sense. Okay.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, like, I knew you were nearby. I just didn't know where. But yeah, he lives out in Randolph. He apparently he's got a company to his name. He had, at least, and that's where a lot of his money came from. Apparently, we didn't know that until recently, when he died and all
I
that.
was wondering.
But yeah, he went over to Vietnam, and the Nam grass did what it did.
Yes,
And,
sir.
Messed with him, and so he came back from the war a little crazy. So an average day with JB would look something like this, right? JB gets up into his house, which has on the roof, in pink duct tape, the words JB's house with the phone number, the zip code, the address, his email, all sorts of things in pink duct tape on the roof. So he gets up into his house. For top floor, there's 2 floors. Well, 3 floors technically if you count the basement.
Right.
There's the top floor, which is immaculate, clean as like anything you've ever seen. You get onto the middle floor, the ground floor, fucking dirt. There's just shit all over the place. It's disgusting.
I think JT, when he was telling me about this, described it as it looks like ground forces in Iraq in 2003 downstairs.
Literally, yeah. It looks like It looks like the U.S. pullout from Afghanistan. It's like really not good.
Jesus. Oof. Oh shit. That's topical.
But basically,
Topical ointment.
Wait a minute.
he gets up at like a solid like 7, and that depends, of course, if he's not at the bridge sleeping where he usually sleeps.
Oh jeez.
But he gets into his lawnmower, and he drives down to the local establishment bar there.
Doesn't he roll over people's lawns?
No. He mows over people's gardens and shit. Like, he'll see people's gardens, whip down his lawnmower, and just start driving over them. He'll do zigzags, he'll do art, he'll do all sorts of stuff. People in God, that's just JV.
It's just
He just
JB.
put it on. He pulls up, so of course he pulls up, mowing still on the pavement.
Of
right?
course.
Pulls up to the bar, right? Gets out, comes in, starts talking to everybody. Everyone loves him. They're chatting him up. He orders the biggest meal he can buy at the bar, right? Buys a bunch of stuff. As soon as the meal's ready, he leaves. Walks out the door. He pays for it, doesn't eat it. Man does that every single morning that he's not in jail, basically. Or at the bridge, of course.
Or at the bridge.
The rest of his day is usually paint duct taping his friends' cars that they keep lending him. With, like, race car numbers and shit. And then he takes cardboard and makes, like, the engines and shit and tapes them to the car.
Who decides after the first time to keep giving JB a car?
You have all of the questions I have. And I have none of the answers, unfortunately.
Like, are we sure that it's their cars?
Oh, it's their cars. We know this. The cops know this.
Oh, like these aren't like stolen cars that
No,
their friends stole or something.
Their friends are handing them the keys to their cars. He
Okay.
doesn't own a vehicle himself, except for the lawnmower, of course, which is primary transportation. But he definitely gets these cars from his friends. Now, what he does is, of course, it paints them up and gets duct tape on to make them look like numbers and look like race cars. He gets in his vehicle. He takes a little spin, and by spin I mean donuts in the middle of the road, middle of the highway. Sometimes, man will go out and just do donuts on the road. Then, of course, cops get called. Cops come over like, "Hey, JB, can't be doing that. Something will happen." Yada yada. He's very respectful of the cops. He knows all the cops personally. Well, he knew all the cops, I should say, because he's now no longer with us, unfortunately.
Unfortunately,
The only death I've ever felt sad about.
the legend will go on.
He definitely knew all the cops very well, and they loved the guy. And like they'd be like, "Hey, JB, you can't be doing that. That's not good." So they'd take him, they'd cuff him, cuff him, and then he'd get in the front seat of the cop car, and they'd drive around with him, and he'd be like, "Yeah, we're going to prison." And then they take selfies together. They'd like have a blast going. They'd changing the radio. They'd be jamming out the whole way back to the trooper station or wherever they were.
Back to the precinct.
Yeah, but they had all sorts of great times with that. some finer moments of JB's life were the time that he made news one time when he had a disagreement with his neighbor, and his neighbor parked her car a little too close to his house. He was not happy about this. It was on the road, so it was technically on his property. So JB took a bat, came out, and just beat the shit out of the car. Like, destroyed it. Like, the thing was destroyed. The man really put his back into it. And then when the cops pulled up, they were like, "Hey, JB, we're gonna have to take you in." He's like, "Oh yeah, okay." They didn't even cuff him that time. He just sat right in the car, and he was like, "Yeah, I'll go."
No shit.
But two other major moments I can remember right off the top of my head. I'm gonna save you. John knows the one that I'm gonna save for last.
Is it the ramp?
Basement story?
Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
the basement story.
Fuck, dude.
Fuck, I already forgot the middle one. The basement story, I guess.
Pool.
Oh yeah, the pool.
Didn't he put one in the pool?
Okay, that's part of the basement story.
Oh, is it?
Oh.
Basically, what happened was JB had one of his friend's cars, as usual.
Because for some reason they just kept
handed
giving him
it to him.
cars.
He gets in his vehicle and he's like, "All right, well, I'm not going to do donuts on the road today. I'm going to do donuts in my backyard." All right, legal at least. But the problem is, he does real donuts. Man's a fucking race car driver. He whips and whips and whips, and the mud would blast off into his neighbor's pool.
Yeah.
Now, he did that to the point where the pool was actually overflowing with water because there was so much mud in there. It was such an issue. The neighbors call the cops. He gets cold. "Hey, you can't fucking do that. That's an issue. Hey, and we're not going to take you in this time. We're just going to tell you, hey, you can't do that."
Yeah.
He's like, Deal? Okay. So the cops leave. A little bit later, they find out, okay, I mean, like, not even like, God, it was only like 12 or 13 hours later when it happened.
Oh my.
But he ends up going out and doing more donuts in the road. Cops pull up and they're like, "All right, hey," and it's a different car this time than he had earlier. Like, "Okay, hey, we're gonna have to take you in for this. This isn't good." He's like, "Okay, where's he at?" They're like, "Hey, out of curiosity, this is a different car. Where's your other car?" And he's like, "Well, it's in my basement." The cop's like, "Oh, okay, so he's off his meds. Makes sense." Then one of the cops is like, "Well, I think it was I know his name, the Indian dude. Was it Sean? I think it was Sean." He's like, it's JB. We need to check this out. So they open the door to his house. They go down the stairs. And lo and behold, there is a ramp of dirt, hand dug by a shovel, sitting right there in the basement, going directly down into his basement from his backyard. Not only that, but the wall of his basement is blown completely out because he rammed his car into the basement wall multiple times until he broke through it and was able to park his car nice and parallel in his basement. JB dug out all of that over a pool disagreement with his neighbor to put his car in the basement in like 12 hours. He dug a massive hole in 12 hours. Man was insane. Oh, he also liked to, one of his favorite pastimes was to sit out on the porch completely naked and just like laugh at people. So that was also interesting. But other than that, yeah, no, JB was a man of legend.
Man's like Diogenes.
Yeah, jeez.
Dude, he wasn't a philosopher, he was insane. But what he did is he ended up getting to an actual accident. They committed him to a place up in Buffalo. He died up there recently of cancer. It was a real shame because, man, I love this
skill issue.
Yeah, hey, God had to take him out. He was too powerful.
Somebody had to.
Clear it wasn't going to be his car.
All that property damage.
I heard that he ramped a car into his neighbor's pool.
I thought he put one in the pool.
No, he didn't.
No?
It was just the mud.
It was just.
I must have
Okay.
misconstrued that a lot.
Well, I did tell you that story like when I was like 14, so it was a long
It must have
time
been,
ago.
yeah.
So I mean,
I don't blame you because of her combining
yeah.
details. But
Yeah.
yeah, JB, man.
Do you have any details on what happens when he was on the bridge?
That's the funny thing. Nobody really knew where he was when he would go on the bridge, right?
Huh.
So there's this bridge in that he loved to go, and he would just show up at the bridge and he just lay down on it, take a nap.
Just take a
It
step
isn't
back.
one of the national parks. It's run by the state. It's just that one. I don't even remember what it's called. But he would just chill there, and he would just take a nap on the bridge anytime he felt like it. and people would just walk around him and they'd be like, whatever, because it's, JB. But he'd eventually, like, he would disappear, like, off that bridge for days at a time in the woods, and no one would know where he was. And the cops would have to do, like, wellness checks sometimes. They'd check out his house. He wouldn't be there. They'd check in the basement. He wouldn't be there. They'd look around, and then they'd, like, figure out, well, I guess he's out in the woods. No one knows what he was doing in the woods because he refused to talk about it, even to the cops. He was like, yeah, I was out in the woods, personal business. And it's like, okay, all right.
I don't think I like where the tone of
We
that.
gotta go search through those woods. There's something in there.
There's something that the fucking skinwalker.
Maybe.
JB out petting the Wendigos.
If you want to search those, I'd be down.
Hell yeah, man. That'd be one hell of a fucking
Right.
adventure.
Sometime we'll
Wendigo.
head over to Rand, go to the bridge and see.
Fuck
But
yeah.
yeah, he
Excuse
would.
me.
What?
I mean, I just said Wendissy.
Yes, I did. JB would be on the hunt.
That's what he was
JB.
looking for. But man,
I don't care what gender you are. Put on the
maid
maid outfit.
oh, man, fucking guy though. Miss him.
Man of legend.
Glorious tale. Do you ever meet the man?
Kind of. I saw the man. Like, I would, like, regularly be in Randolph to see the man in action. But never met him. Like, I never introduced
You never
myself.
walked up and shook his
Yeah.
hand.
Yeah. I thought about it a couple times.
You should've.
I want to meet you. I was like, I'll have all this time to do it.
And then you
It
did.
turns out it didn't. Cancer got him first.
God said, "Nope, my son. It's time to bring you back.
We need to mow the lawn up in heaven.
We need to mow the lawn up.
We need to mow the garden.
I need you to dig my moat."
He's like, yeah.
Just get some mad moat digging.
God gives his biggest projects to his best diggers, as they say.
Yes, sir.
JB. I'll miss him.
JB, what a man. What a myth. What a legend.
The man.
The myth, the legend. Okay, just to easily segue,
Easily.
on the topic of woods and funky shit in the woods,
Oh boy, paranormal stuff, I bet.
possibly. Out where I live, it's a nice little scenic park. There is a place
Does Panama Rock.
that does Panama Rock, indeed, in glowing endorsements from me. It is actually really fun to hike. There's a couple of places where you can go like bungee and shit.
Right. Oh, actually.
It's really fun.
Uh,
Going to bed, JT?
Yes.
Okay, good night. There's a place called Fat Man's Misery. I love it because it's literally a rock. It's just two rocks it's literally this wide.
it's funny.
And
I would totally want to.
we went there for a field trip, a school field trip when I was in like 6th grade.
Sorry, I'm making noise.
One of my best friends at the time was anyway, I had a friend who was he's slightly on the bigger side. Man's a little round.
Oh yeah.
And so he went
Couldn't
through
do any bouldering if you wanted to.
Yeah. He went through Fat Man's Misery. He did not get stuck
Really?
until the very end, where he lost both of his shoes. Because this man could not tie his shoes. Unfortunate.
Because he's so big, kind of lean down and get him.
No, he just didn't know how to tie his shoes. Yeah, I don't get it either. He finally learned by 8th grade. We taught him.
Oh, this class field trip. Fuck, I'm forgetting. I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm thinking this is like an adult human.
No.
Like, how do you not know how to? Okay.
No, we ended up teaching him how to tie his shoes eventually. But he lost his shoes, and so he's just wandering around for like 20 minutes going, where the hell are my shoes? Come to find out, where he got them stuck and lost them. There's a little like ramp. It's like a little hill underneath one of the rocks that leads down into a cave they didn't know about. There was like,
So it's just down there.
yeah, his shoes are just still down there unless like something like yoinked them.
I want to get a fishing rod and go.
Hell yeah, dude, it's really cool out there. One of these days we should all go. Because I live there, I get fucking free access whenever the fuck I want
With whoever you want?
with whoever I want because I'm a president. Based on what?
Great, dude.
I love it. It's such a small fucking town. There's nothing to do except for nature. Like,
It helps sometimes. It'd be nice if Frankenville was like that, but we don't have anything.
Cheese factory.
jeez,
Shut the fuck up. That doesn't matter because it's gonna be 90% fucking in robotized or whatever to call it.
Mostly in Farmersville. Fun fact: have you seen the berm that they made? It's already growing grass.
Yeah, I know.
Fuckers didn't do it fast enough.
They're done.
But there's a whole lot of urban legends that surround Panama Rocks, which
Can you hit that light?
yeah, I can hit that light. Give me a sec, homie.
Exhausted boy over here.
Exhausted boy.
I want to participate, but
You're also
I
very
want
sleepy.
to participate, but I'm too tired because I go to bed at 10:30.
Well,
All right, Prince.
For context, it's 12:11 in the morning.
He's such a.
I'm so.
You
You
wouldn't-
all this energy I spend on being gay.
Yeah, that's
You
true.
know, you be gay, you do the crime. Now you're paying it. Now you're doing the time.
Paying for the time, yeah.
Yes, sir.
That happens.
But yeah, there's a whole bunch of urban legends out there, and we all took a class photo out there, and a couple of people took their own like selfies and shit. And I'm pretty sure people were fucking with other people, but they're like, look, I got one of the ghost ladies, because apparently Panama Rocks, you can go through there and you can find old like spindles and shit. There's a whole bunch of stuff from like the Victorian era and shit out there. It's really cool. And like, there's one where it's rock has almost crushed it now, but it's like an old house, almost like a little old shack. It's 12, not even 12 by 12, like 10 by 10 at most.
Yeah, like a shed, sort of.
But it's got this really deep well on the inside that they tried to fill up and just didn't.
They're just like, well, no.
No, guess we're not gonna do that. But it's really cool because like all of the old steel and wrought iron and stuff is still there. And so,
That's actually really neat. Yeah.
whenever me and a couple buddies go out there, we have an absolute blast scaring the shit out of people.
Just anyone who walks by. Yeah.
Anyone who walks by, because like we have enough, like it's tall enough. Like I'm tall enough that it comes up to about like my chest. It comes up to here, so just enough for me to push up, just enough to get out. So we each take turns hiding in there, and once we hear someone walk by,
Scare them a little bit.
yeah, we'll have the other two of us. It's usually three of us. One sits in the well, and the other two sit on the half-destroyed wall in front of it. Just shooting the shit.
Right.
And then if someone comes, we'll say some kind of code word depending on what the conversation happens to be that day.
Right. Okay.
And so
I
then
think it's like the repeat conversation, so yeah.
sometimes we do change it up because then people start to
Notice.
catch on. They're like, wait a second, that's a little strange. So there's one time, it's this group, this is family. And we're just hanging out and we're doing it. And my buddy Marcus, he's the guy, he's hanging out in the well tube. And he just fucking lets one rip really fucking loud. And both of us went, the two of us that were sitting up, like, what the fuck was that? And apparently, the family heard it and didn't recognize it as a fucking fart. And just freaked them out enough to be like, oh, what the fuck was that?
That's great.
This is not where this story ends.
Oh.
They keep walking our direction because they didn't realize that that's where it came from. And so, in a scramble to try and let them know that people were coming, we were just be like, there's a pipe there. And I just hit the pipe, like a steel pipe. I hit the well, and he fucking jumped up because he got scared because it echoed in there, and he jumped up and fucking started taking off across the path as this family's coming, and just scares the shit out of the kids. And the adults are like, what the fuck was that? And then they look over and see it's one of my friends. He almost got beat the shit out of by the dad. It was kind of funny.
That's fucking great.
Because it was like, stinky. Fuck.
The best pranks are definitely the ones that you almost get killed for.
Yes, sir. Dude, during cross country was always the best when we were in Panama to practice. Because we used to run up towards my house. We would actually run past my house a lot of the time.
Right.
But on the right, he's out. Yes, sir.
It's alive.
If you go up the hill,
Yeah.
towards my house, there's a 6-foot ditch on either side.
Yes, okay.
But it's covered in foliage. It's like a little fucking, like, if you low crawl, it's like you've got your own little canopy. It's really cool. And this was at the height of like the whole spooky clowns thing. So if that gives you any idea of how long ago this was.
2015, 16.
Yeah, 15, 16. I was part of the varsity group at that point, I think.
Right.
Yeah, at some point. And so we were all running together, doing our thing. And the varsity boys, we were always a small enough group that we just kind of split off and did our own thing. We would kind of follow the plan, but we'd either take a weird route or whatever.
But not really follow the plan, yeah.
We would get the same distance in, and we would know where the coaches would set up to see us. We would just take really weird ways there.
Just do whatever, yeah.
We were running with the modified kids. I think you're piecing together where this is going.
I already know where this is going.
So, the varsity boys, we're doing really good. And we get really far ahead, and we're like, okay, all right, boys. There's this canopy on both sides. And I know that there's kids coming within like 10 minutes. So we all just decide to do some stretches and chill out for about 15 minutes. There's a big curve at the bottom of the hill so that you can't see anything until you get to the top of the hill. That is what I call Bad Luck Hill. I will elaborate soon.
Oh, I can guess, yeah.
So we all dive into the bushes, into the brush. And we each picked out a kid. And so all these kids come running by, and we were gonna fuck with the modified boys for the most part because they'd be like, oh, scare the shit out of them, but they'd enjoy it instead of the girls are gonna go home crying because of it. And so we're all sitting and waiting, and all we were gonna do was just grab ankles. A couple of us decided, including me, that wasn't enough. But if the only people that we were gonna do what we did to were people who we knew personally. And they would find it funny after about, 30 seconds. So they're all running by, and we've got our targets picked out. A couple of them just grab the ankles, and they scream and do the flail, and then just keep running. We waited, because we knew some of the kids that were in the back. So there's a bunch of kids. So me and this other kid, I forget his name, I think it might have been Bryce, we're just sitting there, just waiting. And when we see one of the kids who we really like, we love to fuck with him, and he loves to fuck with us back. It's fantastic. All good times around.
Yeah.
And we're sitting there and waiting. I'm like, you want to drag him in? So the kid's running, doing his thing, and we both grab his ankle, and one of his arms just pull him right into the fucking weeds. Oh, kid almost shat himself.
That's hilarious.
And
that's freaking amazing.
He didn't make a noise. It was just, and then he was gone.
Yeah. That's awesome.
We didn't realize that there were still 6 kids behind him because we thought he was usually in the backpack.
And the kids are just like,
what the fuck was that? And they almost took off the other direction until we stood up and were like, no, you're good. You're safe. You're fine. We didn't
let him go. Honestly, it would have been hilarious if the whole crew went by.
Oh, yeah. Well, they saw it and we were like, oh, shit.
And then the girls are behind the guys usually, so oh my god, they would have been running back. But
Yeah.
There's something over there. The whole crew.
So we picked out this kid, and once he got pulled in, it took him about 20 seconds to realize that we weren't like gonna
Trying
fucking
to
kill him.
Yeah.
And so he's like, "Oh shit, it's you guys. You want to get somebody else?" I was like, "No, you're one of the only guys we could get like this that wouldn't like go tell the coach."
That's amazing.
Because we had to pick it out because the coach would they'd fucking kill us if they knew.
Panama coaches sound brutal.
Panama coaches can be brutal.
Imagine having rules at your school.
You know?
Fucking gay.
I know, right? They had a rule against being gay at my school.
What?
Yeah, 2 girls got expelled because they were lesbians.
Isn't that like illegal?
Yeah, there's a reason we don't have her anymore as a principal.
I was gonna say, like, that just seems like it'd be like illegal.
Yeah, they were sitting on the bus holding hands. Okay, PDA.
That's Article 504
Yeah,
or Section 6.
504th.
504th. But
You had 503 articles before that, just because.
just because. But yeah, they got expelled for being gay. It was like, oh,
That's insane.
you're too sexual around the other kids. What? They literally held hands. That's all they did.
That's
Well,
very sexual.
In public anyway. I don't know. I heard some freaky stories because I ran with one of the girls' little brothers. So I heard some freaky shit.
Dude, you could literally get away with fucking who was it? Was it Saban? I don't know if John knows. But it might have been Saban and whoever it was.
Blowjobs in the school bathroom.
Yeah, he would literally just like, yeah,
Get fucking sloppy toppy. All right.
yeah, all the time. And yeah, people would just get away with all sorts of shit.
Fair enough, man.
I think who was it? Simon Watts might have been who did it. Who was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna just, walk outside of school onto the sidewalk, and then just like, fuck someone, and then he did, and then he got like in trouble for it, but not really.
They took him into the office and told him you can't do that anymore.
Literally, something like that happened. I don't remember if it was Simon specifically. I know he kept getting in trouble for shit like that, but I don't know if it was him specifically who did. But I just remember someone got in like major trouble. Well, not major trouble, but like and it was major trouble for us because no one ever gets in trouble. Like I literally swore at the principal. Like John remembers this when she walked into the lunchroom the one time. This kid, who's now a pedophile, by the way.
Oh, this kid. Okay.
Yeah, we won't name him, but he spilled fruit all over my lunch tray, and I was pissed.
Yeah.
Not pissed, but like pissed enough to yell.
Just enough to be like, you fucking retard.
And I literally turned around to him and like just saying all this shit to him. As I'm turning around, apparently, our principal at the time walks into the room right behind me. John's sitting there like, Mason, stop it. And I'm just like swearing off at him. She comes in, she looks over at me, and I just keep going, right? Like just no stopping. I'm like, hello, Mrs. Capel. And I just kept going.
Hi, you motherfucker.
She didn't even talk to me.
No shit.
She just looked at me and said, and walked away. I never got in trouble for it.
No shit. Did I tell you about how I got ISS for 2 days?
How'd you get ISS for 2 whole days?
I got ISS for 2 days because we had school-issued iPad.
Yeah.
This is not as bad as it sounds.
I quick aside, I broke 7 of those in 1 year.
Oh, I could have.
Yeah. It was actually a challenge because I remember. Actually, technically, I broke 6. John broke 1 of them in ag. I don't know if he remembers that, but he took my backpack and he was like, he took the iPad out and then he like dropped it and just shattered it. And I was like, oh well, guess there's another one.
But so yeah, we had school issued iPads, and at one point, somebody sent out a chain email to the whole school. People are replying to it left and right for like 3 days.
Yes.
Multiple warnings, stop this and that. Half of the school got ISS.
What?
Yeah, half the school got ISS because
It's
they're like,
just normal school.
That's like a school
Yeah.
day. Yeah. It's
Yeah.
like, all right, come in on Saturday.
yeah, like half of the school got fucking ISS because they would respond to this mass chain. I mean, it wasn't actually responding with anything like important. It would be like, yo, who the fuck blocked fucking cool math games? Stupid shit like that.
That's
But
important, though. That's not stupid shit. That's a very important discussion we must have in the
but yeah, and so of course I'm like, all right, fuck it. I'm gonna send something. I had a meme. It was a picture of 2 Cards Against Humanity things. It was, what gives me uncontrollable gas? Auschwitz. Sent it. Hee hee ha ha. Funny. Yeah.
Not
So our class group chat be like,
Oh god. Yeah,
so-
I fucked that one up, didn't I?
My iPad gets remote locked. All right, whatever. Fuck it. I get to lunchtime and they send me up to the principal's office. And the first thing I hear is, you put the entire school in danger. What? You actively just made it acceptable to gas children. What?
I did that?
I
All
did
on my own?
that. Yeah, all on my own.
I should do this more often.
And I just kept getting told that I'm a threat to the school, and like
Yeah, you're right.
I was like,
Threat to the school. Yeah, I am now.
yeah, I am now. You
You want to
don't.
place bets?
Yeah, I was fine until now. But yeah,
It's one of those things that I'm like,
and I straight up called her out on it. I was just like, it's a joke, and B, if you think this is a threat to school security, you should really be taking a look at some of the shit that goes on. Do you know how many children I have seen, well, children, young adolescents and late adolescents,
same thing.
come into fucking school with, like, literal fucking Bowie knives. Like, what?
Yeah, I remember there was a kid. I don't remember his name though. It might have been Jacob. He came into school one time. I think he had. I'm pretty sure, from my memory, it would have been like an airsoft gun. I think it was at least. But anyway, the kid came in. And he went to the bathroom. I went to the bathroom at the same time, and he was like, He's like, oh yeah, check this out. He's like showing off his little airsoft gun in the bathroom. I'm pretty sure it was an airsoft gun.
I mean, if it wasn't,
I don't remember vividly enough to tell you whether or not. When I was a little kid, I wasn't sure.
that's fair. Could you speak just a tad bit louder? It's flatlining a little bit.
Yeah, no.
You're all good. You're all good. No worries.
Yeah, I wasn't like a kid might have been named Jacob. I'm pretty sure him and Tavi shared a birthday. I'm pretty sure the kid that I'm talking about. But I just remember being in the bathroom and he's like showing it off and I was like, oh cool. Like I don't know what you want me to say to that.
I mean, cool, but
like, all right, you have a gun. All right, are you gonna threaten me? Or are you gonna
you gonna shoot me?
Like you can go ahead and like threaten me. I'm okay with that. But
I don't know. I might get a little turned on. I don't know.
God,
that's the best thing to do is just make other people uncomfortable, and then they'll just avoid you. It's like, what are you gonna do? Threaten me? I'll nut.
It's like honestly, all you have to do for half the time is just say something. Say, what are you gonna do to threaten me at that point? Because like a lot of people are just like, what? Like,
what?
You don't. It's like the response is supposed to be, oh no, like what's going on? They're expecting that. They're not expecting you to say, what are you gonna do? Threaten me?
Yeah. What are you gonna do?
Now they're on the back foot, and then you just like start, just saying shit.
Who shit myself? I think JT started saying that on campus. That's at one point, right?
Oh man, they'd never heard it before.
Oh my god.
Rolling.
Fucking, in the wise words of my uncle, that JT's meant twice a day, whether I need it or not.
That made his wife flush so fast.
What?
That made his wife flush so fast.
Oh yeah.
KP story.
No. I have a question to pose after this. And
I do it before because it's so good.
I'm going to steal this from you, JT.
Mm.
We all know the answer to this question. But as JT asks, if you had to amputate your leg,
would you eat it? No.
Why?
Because I don't feel like eating my own leg.
Why not?
I just don't feel like it.
If it's someone else's leg.
What if it's someone else's leg?
They do all the cooking for you.
Why not?
I don't feel like it. Yeah.
Okay.
It's like, what do you want? Am I supposed to put that on my resume?
Yes.
Like, ate my
own leg.
Logistics manager, warehouse operator. Oh yeah, ate my own leg. 2016 to 2016.
2016. Ate my own leg.
4 minutes.
I would eat my own leg. Because what, you're just going to let meat go to waste? No. If it's perfectly fine and you cook it, isn't it just another meat? It's like venison.
If it's your own leg, it's still human meat. Human meat's just kind of weird. Like, I don't have a problem, it's... Like, I have a problem with those serial killers who go and eat people. Like, that's fucked up. Like, that's just weird. Like, serial killers, normal serial killers, sure. Okay, I understand that, alright. But, like...
I would think that cannibals would have more of a past than normal serial killers. Just because at least then they're doing it to feed and not just for the sick pleasure of taking a life from this world.
Well, if they're just doing it for their own pleasure, I can understand that. Like, you have, like, people do things for fun. Like, I drive over the speed limit for fun. Some people just fucking murder people for fun. I can understand that. So if you're doing it...
Those are not equivalent in any way.
They're equivalent enough. But, if they're just, like, I don't know. It's just weird enough. It's one of those things that I'm like, I'm bothered by this. That doesn't happen very often.
I can't believe we found something that bothers you.
Like, not so much bothered, but weirded out. It's one of those things that, like, it's sort of like if you watch, like, lolly porn, where I'm like,
okay,
I just don't want you near me, like, at all.
Okay, so
Like, you're just weird, and I want you to, like, get hurt in, like, a traffic accident. You know what I mean?
With
Like,
that, I agree because lollies are children. And again, like the top 2 things on my hate list are people of different sexual assaulting. Yeah.
variants.
Yeah.
Like Pokemon variants.
Yeah.
At least these days. Chris Hansen, he's the one who's catching them all.
Sir. But, yeah, no, I think I would because in my mind, it's a waste of meat to not.
I can understand, like, if you're just trying not to waste it, yeah.
Like, I wouldn't get any sick satisfaction out of it. Like, I wouldn't be like, oh, yes, human meat. But at the same time, I'm just like, I mean, it's there. Are you really going to leave meat on a deer that you just killed? No, I'm not going to go out and kill people and eat their legs. Like, this is purely just a medical thing, and they just happen to give you your leg back.
Dude. I've admitted to horrible things in life.
All right, hey guys, this is Ryan in the post-editing. We forgot to do an outro in the episode, so unfortunately you'll have to deal with me in the editing process. But I want to thank Mason and JT for being on this episode of the Shattered Veil podcast. Unfortunately, it was a little bit sillier than we usually are, but I hope you enjoyed tonight. And I hope to see you in the next one. I will have more coming soon. I unfortunately got busy with college, so editing took kind of a backseat to getting my homework done. But here's hoping I will see you all in the next episode. Have a wonderful evening, and I hope to see you again.